Well, in parallel to the political speeches at the Grand Palais that we just heard a little of there, startups and other small businesses are gathering for a separate event at StationF, that's in the southeast of Paris. And indeed, a short while ago, the French President Emmanuel Macron arrived at the site as well. Now, also there is our tech editor, Peter O'Brien. Peter, just tell us, first of all, what it is that's happening at StationF today.
Emmanuel Macron has just wrapped up his speech here, in fact, and he's been going around shaking hands. Very much a warm reception. Let me remind you that this was where he was 1 month after his inauguration in 2017. He inaugurated StationF, and it was really seen at the time as kicking off his grand ambition to make France more investor-friendly, the so-called startup nation. So it's rather poetic now that we're at the kind of ebbing of his power with all the political comings and goings there have been in the parliament here in France. Macron still, he doesn't have a huge amount of political power maybe left, but in terms of being a driver for economic investment in France, this was kind of his swan song, if you like, coming back to StationF and reiterating that he managed to secure that 109 billion euro investment in France. Okay, some of this would have been projects that have been kind of wrapped into the announcement as well, but he called the summit of European awakening as well, nodding to Ursula von der Leyen's announcement that they'd be adding an extra 50 billion euros in terms of AI investment on top of 150 already announced.
And Peter, let's just talk about the political event that took place this morning. There were a raft of speeches there and very different visions, actually, for the future of artificial intelligence and how it is regulated. We had one vision articulated by J.D. Vance of the United States, that quite different to what Emmanuel Macron had to say. I wonder what struck you particularly from the speeches.
I was most kind of maybe looking forward to is the wrong word, but that transition between J.D. Vance's speech and then the European President Ursula von der Leyen's that came straight away afterwards. J.D. Vance left before she even started speaking, having just said that AI needed very much to be used as a weapon for good before your enemies can get to it first. This is obviously a reference in no uncertain terms to China, which is also ploughing ahead in the AI race. And Ursula von der Leyen, we were wondering whether she'd come out all guns blazing and defend Europe's approach to regulating and specifically regulating AI. She, I think, chose instead to focus her speech more on investment as well. But make no mistake, the EU very much believes that innovation is actually improved through regulation. They don't see these as two opposing points. I spoke to Henna Virkkunen, she's the Executive Vice President of the European Commission. She's essentially the EU's tech boss yesterday, and she reiterated that in no uncertain terms. But of course, for many diplomats, the worrying thing to come out of this conference is that only 60 countries have signed it, and actually if you remove the European Commission and the African Union from that, that makes 58 countries. That's less than a third of the world's countries. So obviously the US not signing up there, the UK neither. So in terms of the political outcomes and how we're going to actually make sure AI is going to keep us all safe, less work has been done here than work on investing in Europe.
Peter O'Brien, really good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for your reporting.